know my name. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of pain. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 205 of Walking Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Herman, Mr. Chris Malley in the building, Prime on the road, Jimmy Smith in the building. It's emergency pod. It's a quickie pod. It's the Ryan Kerrigan Welcome to the Nest pod. I'm gonna tell you, I'm having a busy work day, but this is one news today that got me excited, gave me some juice, gave me some energy. Because we all know as Eagle fans, this guy has been a menace to society when playing the Eagles or the NFC East. The guy's been productive. He's been a nuisance. He's been a pain in the ass. But now he's our pain in the ass for Washington football team. And Washington fans will tell you they feel a certain way because he's been a glue guy. He's been a consistent playmaker for Washington. He's getting a little older. And that's where he's at. A guy like Chase Young, a guy like Montez Sweat is in his way. So it's limiting his snaps. But he feels like he could potentially be a starter up here. But right off the bat, how you guys feel? I just want to get your initial thoughts about this move.
This is images of that are flashing back to me of the Chris Long signing the year that we went to the Super Bowl, man. I love bringing a veteran into the building. We talked about it, Jerome Adams right there in the comment section saying this is Chris Long part 2. He, like you said, Ryan Kerrigan has been a complete thorn in our ass for nearly a decade now. Every single time we go up against him, the dude always balls out. He's had our number for years, and ironically enough, he has the rest of the division's number as well. I mean, he's got 13 sacks apiece for each of the teams. He's a stone cold worker, man. I don't blame. I was just talking to Gail prior to us jumping on. Like I understand why the the Washington football team moved on and drafted Chase Young because that's a total step up. But let's not just say that Ryan Kerrigan's career was over because it wasn't. This dude's definitely still got a lot left in the tank. And just to not have him going up against us, I mean, this is one of those guys that like I truly did respect to the utmost degree as an Eagles fan. Like I don't like anyone on Washington. I don't root for any of those guys, but there's a few guys here and there that you grow to respect as players because of just what they show you on the field week in and week out. So, and he was one of those guys. So I'm really, really happy with the signing today.
Yeah, I'm just as excited, man. The dude, I hated playing this guy every damn time that we had a game against him. It was like, oh shit, who's gonna be lined up against him? You know, I mean, this guy always gets the best of us. It's like you mentioned earlier, Ed. Like, yeah, he owns us. He owns that division. He has the most sacks out of his career sacks against that division in general. I mean, 13 and a half against us and the Cowboys, and then 13 flat against the Giants. Like, it's crazy just the fact that we were able to go ahead and pull this off. I mean, when I saw that breaking news come through that we signed Ryan, I'm like, holy shit, I stopped my tracks. I'm like, yeah, that's huge. Like, we needed that, you know what I mean? And, you know, going into this season, the way we're already feeling, I don't know, man. It's just like I'm more excited to go ahead and actually see this defense go to work. And, you know, and with the addition of him, like, oh yeah, I could be one to go ahead and tell you, like, this guy's definitely a potential starter. You know, he's a beast. I mean, look, Paul, you're saying it right there. He's definitely a beast. And you know, again, now not having to worry about, you know, the fear of going against this guy. It's the fear he's going to put into these division games and opposing teams as well. So, I'm suit, man. I'm glad that the guy is now dressed in green.
Yeah. Chris, we got Chris Mahomes over here with the shades, man, looking crispy. How you feeling, my guy?
I need to go. Overall, I mean, Ryan Kerrigan is a guy that has tortured the NFC East for years, and it was really surprising because we actually are pretty solid at the edge. That being said, we have a lot of guys that are going to be moving around, and we're a really young team. They actually said that the Eagles, I believe it was in the NFL, not just the division. We're the youngest team in the NFL, I believe. It was 25 years old was the team average for age. And just having the guys like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and Ryan Kerrigan to be the glue guys of the team, the leaders, it's really important. It doesn't necessarily mean that the Eagles are looking to like compete even more. It does, but it doesn't mean that they're making like a huge push with the signing. It just means that they really want to emphasize having really high quality guys. I mean, they talked about how they drafted so many captains of football teams from college, and now Kerrigan's coming in, and he's going to set the tone. And it's really nice to take a guy that, like, it's not like we were taking some scumbag player from like Dallas. We're taking a really high quality player on and off the field from Washington, and I think it's really important to have a guy that the young guys can look forward to talking to and learn from, and a guy that can give some insight about what Washington does behind the scenes as well.
Yeah. Jimmy.
I love the signing. I share the sentiment of everybody here. We talk about the fact that he had 13 and a half sacks against us, the Cowboys, 13 against the Giants. Yes, he destroys the NFC East. So what better player to keep than in the NFC East on our side? I truly love it. The guy's got 95 and a half sacks in his 10-year career. Woo, would love to see that. 119 tackles for loss, 147 of those quarterback hits. He's got 26 forced fumbles, I think, 25 pass breakups, and 3 interceptions, all for touchdowns. This dude is a playmaker, and we just added him to this rotation. That's what we talk about. It begins in the trenches. You got Graham Barnett, Sweat. That's great. But beyond that, you draft Teron Jackson, get Patrick Johnson, Jaquan Bailey. Okay. But Ryan Kerrigan, that's the veteran depth that helps these young men grow, and that just points towards great thing in the future. I love it.
And I think that there's a lot of people that are getting held up on the fact that like he already has kind of played a career in Washington. And so they're looking at him as like a guy that's on the back end of his career. And he's certainly not in, you know, the height, the pinnacle of his career right now. But what my point is that he's still younger than Brandon Graham is. Like, I still have a lot of faith going into this season with Brandon Graham on the edge. And we're bringing in a guy who has a hell of a resume, and he's younger than Brandon Graham. So it's not like this guy is, you know, pushing 40. He's in his young 30s. He's definitely could still bring something to the table.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy who, you know, they recently said in the beginning of the pod, you know, that Chris Long type of signing. You bring in a guy who he has a presence. Like even in Rome was saying that it's hard not to like Kerrigan, even as a member of the Washington football team, because we know you know a good player when you see one.
Absolutely.
The guy with the high motor, the guy that, you know, might not bring pressure like a Chase Young, but he wins with technique and with his bull rush moves. He's been a nuisance. You know, like I can remember vividly how many times he hit Carson Wentz. And the look on Carson Wentz and the shookness of Carson Wentz when Ryan Kerrigan would just randomly come and cause pressure. Again, pressure bust pipes. And we won in the trenches in the past, and that got us to a Super Bowl. It's trench warfare, building up the offensive line, building up the defensive line, throwing draft capital at the defensive line. It makes me kind of feel a certain way that, you know, it's the rebuild versus the retool. I feel like they're making some tweaks, and this signing makes sense, man. Like, go watch Washington football fans and their reaction videos to the idea of Ryan Kerrigan playing for the Eagles. Some of them says it makes them sick to their stomach. Like if we saw like Jason Kelsey line up for Washington football team, what would that do to you?
That would be tough, man. I can't even physically like visualize it in my head because it just doesn't make any sense. Like I just can't even think about it.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's just a good feeling that you know, it makes sense. You still in the back of our minds, we're CB2. Like, where's the CB2 coming? Zach Ertz is nowhere to be found right now, so he's not in the building. You think about, you're like, did we have enough money to even make this move? And then we're gonna sign our rookies, but you're like, they got money for this? Okay, so there's a move coming.
I think we know what it is.
I'm not sure exactly when.
I think we know what it is.
Out of the building.
Yeah,
but
when
is Zach Ertz? Okay,
a couple weeks from now.
The second he will be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, are we feeling we're feeling CB2 after that move happens?
If you're gonna go ahead and get rid of the guy, you might as well. Yeah, let's go get that CB2. Why not?
Exactly. And you're going to need
Steve-
money
Steve
about
Nelson?
7 to 9 mil for Steven. Yeah, sure. But you need 7 to 9 mil for your draft picks. But yeah, you definitely have enough money to go get someone like Steven Nelson. Please.
How many times have we spoke about Steve? And the whole fan base has spoken about Steven
And
Nelson, like he's on this team already. Like, we're just Steve Nelson will be here.
well, I mean,
There was a rumor 14 teams interested in his services.
we're not the only ones that are talking about Steven Nelson, because Steven Nelson is also talking about us. If you look at his social medias, my man has been liking everything Philadelphia.
Yeah,
so
man.
I mean, there's a connection there for sure.
Hey man, if you put that signing in the works, Ryan Kerrigan. I mean, you got to feel a certain way. Like, would you say it with your chest? Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargraves, Brandon Graham, Ryan Kerrigan, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett. I mean, come on, like
You started to lose me a little bit on that DB.
I mean, that's at the very end. That's why.
Yeah,
But like, that's good depth.
it's good, and the guys that we drafted this year as well.
Yeah, so I mean, are you feeling a certain way?
I'm feeling like they are trying to what's the word? I feel like they're trying to compensate for their poor lackluster cornerbacks, the fact that we don't really have a true CB2, with really bolstering up this line, trying to create pressure and get the ball out of the quarterback's hands as quickly as possible. That's what makes sense to me. But I mean, ultimately, this offseason is still undone. We still have time to sign a Steven Nelson or another cornerback to this team. So I think we're still in a holding pattern right now. We're still pending on what's going to actually look like. But Kerrigan, dude, I can't not be happy about that signing today. The depth on the D line is really starting to look pretty great.
Prime, are you in any talks with getting a Ryan Kerrigan jersey to add to your collection yet?
Hey, listen, man, why not? I mean, like I said, I'm a big fan of him.
Risky, man.
The fact that he played for the Washington football team, I mean, somebody had mentioned earlier, it's all about still showing and giving that respect, and he's one that I would definitely give. You know, I mean, I respect his game. I always, again, going against them, I always feared the damage he would go ahead and do within that game. And yeah, I mean, his stats speak for itself. The stats speak for itself. But again, now that the fact that he's in the nest, yeah, I'm definitely up for grabbing that jersey, man. I like my man. I like him a lot, man. I like him.
So Ryan Kerrigan, number 1, Carson Wentz, Colts jersey, number 2. Right. Okay. Just so we got that straight.
No. I'm gonna get it, but we don't have to put it on the pedestal. You know what I mean? Whether if it's gonna be at the top, the bottom, it's gonna be there. Everybody else can go ahead and elevate to the top. But yeah, I'm gonna, I'm still gonna show love to Carson.
I mean, overall, Chris or Jimmy, what do you think this means for, Derek Barnett or Josh Sweat?
So one thing that we've been talking about all offseason was what's going to go on with Derek Barnett. And the Eagles eventually did pick up the 5th-year option, and people are like, wow, like we're paying Derek Barnett $10 million. That's a lot of money, and that's money that could have been used for possibly like a Steven Nelson or another CB2. So that's why it's going to be interesting to see what happens if the Eagles are going to try to move him. I was actually talking to our boy JT today saying, like, could you imagine if they could pull off a deal with New England where they swap J.C. Jackson and Derek Barnett? And we'd probably have to give a little bit more, but if we did that, I would be very confident that we could compete for the division and a little bit more. You got J.C. Jackson from the Patriots because he's not happy there, and J.C. Jackson hasn't settled any contract disagreements there in New England yet, and they're always going for a little bit of edge rush help. So I'd be interested to see what happens. But overall, though, I said the biggest problem is we might lose some young guys that could be very promising just because we have a good problem right now. We have a lot of depth at the defensive tackle and the edge right now, and I'm really excited to see the way this group works. Overall, at every position, I'm really excited to see how these guys are going to be used. I do still think that we need a CB2 that can play outside. I think that McPherson has he has great twitch and some things that he's going to show, and our pass rush, like Sweat and Derek Barnett being rotational guys or even starters, is going to help a lot, but we'll see what happens. And a great pass rush can help the cornerbacks as well. But Derek Barnett would be a guy, not Sweat, that would possibly move.
I don't know if this move screams to me that Derek Barnett is gone. Not saying that's what Chris said, but I saw a comment. To me, we needed depth at the edge rush, and the guys that are depth pieces right now are practice squad guys for the most part. And I have high hopes for Teron Jackson. I want to see what Patrick Johnson's used at. And to me, this screams what the hell is Jonathan Gannon's defense going to look like? It looks like we might have some stand-up rushers in this defense with maybe a Derek Barnett and Ryan Kerrigan and Patrick Johnson. Edge rushers coming at you from all different, got their hand in the dirt or not. I'm really excited about seeing what this looks like. But Ryan Kerrigan, this is another piece of depth. I don't think this means that he's taking Derek Barnett's job because he only played 38% of the snaps last year. He's older. So I loved what Evan said earlier, and everybody else, we're comparing to Chris Long. That's exactly what it is. A veteran signing provides depth, helps these young men grow. So maybe in the future, I agree to an extent with Chris that maybe it takes a job from somebody, but I think these guys end up on the practice squad and they're going to learn a lot, even if it's just 1 year under Ryan Kerrigan, a great leader, great guy on and off the field. So excited to have him. I think Derek Barnett, though, sticks around. You can't cut him without taking that $10 million dead money hit, but you can if you trade him. So if you can find a good trade, maybe he is, but I think it's just depth.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Nathan, Mr. Patrick Surtain agent, he says this is a kind of a head-scratching move. I actually, I feel like I think it's a great move. It's a solid depth signing. It's a guy who pushes to start. Like he's not coming in here. The idea of Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat being the guy, that has nothing to do with Kerrigan. He's coming in here to start. Like
right.
Whoever cream rises to the top, and I feel like he has a chance to start. I mean, you got another guy to. We all know. We love Josh Sweat. That was my breakout player last year. But can he be healthy as a full-time starter? Like his situational role is I love because he comes in and he's firing off the edge. Derek Barnett, he just hasn't been consistent enough as a pass rusher, and his health has been an issue.
I'm curious to know what his mentality is at right now, knowing that the fact that he's been a Washington football team player for all these years, and then they just go ahead and pull the trigger and trade him. You know what I mean? Then now he's signing with a division rival, and the mentality is normally when that happens is they're going to come onto that division rival team, and they're going to go back and haunt that team, even worse. So I'm looking forward to those Washington football team games even more now because he's going to have that in the back of his mind. Like, I really thought I was here. I really thought that this was going to be my spot. And then y'all just decided to go ahead and trade me away.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm coming for that ass.
I do understand it. You can't pass up on a guy like Chase Young. And if that's the kind of guy that ends up, taking Kerrigan's position, I get it. But Kerrigan, dude, I do think he's going to come in here. We've been talking about how competition is really going to run this training camp. Why would it be out of the ordinary for there to be competition for edge rushers and for him to potentially end up on top? I think he's got what it takes. What do you guys think is more likely, though, while we're on the topic of trade conversation? You think it's more likely for Derek Barnett or Zach Ertz to get moved in a trade? Consider, huh?
I mean, potential for both.
That didn't answer the question though. I said which is more likely? Which is more likely to trade?
I can't answer the more likely part, but what I would prefer is Barnett to get.
Because I'm just thinking about how I understand because Ertz we've kind of already nailed Ertz's coffin and sent him away at this point. But what I'm saying is I think that there are teams that tend to look for edge rushers as higher value than tight end. So that's why I think there would be more teams willing to trade for an edge rusher than a tight end. That's my point.
Damn, look at the comments, man. There's no more love for Ertz, man. You guys, none of you guys have love for Ertz anymore.
Well, I mean,
but
it's a writing's on the wall with Ertz that that it's bound to happen. He's not, it is what it is. Do
you think with all this
during the draft? But even during the draft, there was talks about Derek Barnett being moved.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We drafted 4 defensive linemen, and then we just signed Kerrigan today. So I'm saying the writing kind of seems like it's on the wall for Barnett, too, to me, is what I'm saying.
If you can find a trade
partner,
either or,
man. Both of them,
he's
bro.
definitely possible.
I mean,
Yeah. If someone is willing to trade
what it
something
is.
for Derek Barnett and you cannot take that $10 million, yes. I mean, that'd be for sure. The reason I think Kerrigan isn't the starter is just because he's fresh when you don't have him starting. He doesn't have to stay all 3 downs. Just like when Evan mentioned Chris Long, he comes in, he does his job, and he destroys. What do you have? 397 snaps last year, and he still had like 5.5, 6 sacks. That's pretty good. He comes in when he's fresh, and I'm not saying he's old and can't have it. It's just you keep his legs fresher for now a 18 weeks, 17 game season. So, but he's the best. He's better than Derek Barnett, but hands down. So yeah, in the pressure situations, it needs to be Kerrigan and Brandon Graham out there, and I love that. That's the only thing I'm saying.
A new deep. We talk about new QB energy. We got new defensive end energy.
We've been begging for this, Gail, right?
It's been a no brainer. Like I felt like I've had a shitty work day. Like this was the move that got me. I don't care what else happens. Like whatever you throw at me, fine. I'm feeling good about this move.
Gail, I woke up today. I thought I was going to be attacked by murder hornets. Got my 2nd dose of the vaccine, and it was nothing but pure joy today. So I'm on cloud 9, baby.
That's what's up.
My allergies are acting up, bro. Like my throat is closing up. I go outside. I'm like, geez, I'm about to die out here. Someone saved me. The Ryan Kerrigan move saved the brother out here.
Saved us all.
Wild out here. At Prom, are you down? You doing a little vacation trip down the shore?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely. I always, besides last year, with the COVID and everything, but I'm definitely looking to get back on track with the family and go down to the ocean and do something. Hell yeah, shit. I wish I was there right now. It's hot as hell.
Yeah.
And you're wearing a hoodie down the shore right now?
It doesn't help that I'm sitting in the vehicle with a hoodie on, but you know what I mean? I'm trying to shed a few more pounds, so it works out.
Fair enough.
There was a couple questions earlier on that I missed. I mean, while we're here, we're not going to rain on the parade of Ryan Kerrigan move. But Deshaun Watson talk has been littered through the comments here. Can we all say that it's just a rumor at the moment? And if there wasn't any other issues with, like, it could have been happened already, but it's, for me, it's a rumor right now. And until it becomes like, I'm not going to address something that I feel like is still just a rumor.
The fact, which rumor are you talking about? Him coming to us, or
the Eagles being interested? Yeah,
I really don't want to touch.
I don't like talking about it either.
I've seen WIP put that poll up like 7 times now.
About someone brought it up to me, and I was like,
yeah, no, it's a tough situation. I mean, obviously, like, I don't want there's way too much smoke in that situation, that I need everything to be checked on and absolutely verified that nothing happened before we even start that conversation. And it doesn't seem like they are in any. It doesn't seem like they're close to that yet. It doesn't seem like if the investigation is ongoing, it doesn't seem like it's anywhere near its end. So I'm pumping the brakes on that. I am
Daniel all the way from was it Sweden? Is where Daniel's from? He said, but still, D. Watson, yes or no?
Deshaun Watson, with no allegations against him, and as purely a football player, is a very talented guy. But when you bring that baggage with you, it's just not worth it, in my opinion. If that stuff is true, those are just allegations at this point. So I don't know.
It's a wait and see for me. I'm not. It's like I could. Obviously, we all know what Watson is as a player, but the whole optics of it right now don't look good until we figure it out. Until we figure it out.
Well, all right, let's just minus
figure it out.
Minus that situation. I don't know. I don't even know how I would feel the fact that him coming onto the team, and then we just got finished spending all these months putting faith into the kid, and now we got to get away from that.
No, because it's all about upgrading the position. If you can upgrade the position, I mean, I think Deshaun Watson, his playability, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the game. That was pre distractions going on. I don't know how he's going to be playing with this in the back of his mind. It's a touchy thing, man. Like, what do you want us to say?
I mean, go, Jimmy. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I got a clear answer, so I'll give it to you. No, I don't want him. Not only just because of these allegations, but even if it's all cleared, there's been too much smoke. Like Evan said, it's already too much. But we are retooling right now, and we have an ass load of picks that get me very excited for this draft class coming up next year. Ho, yeah. We got lots of cap space for next year. You're telling me you want to give all of that up after we just were tortured for years by Howie Roseman. Now you want to do it just for a quarterback. He's 25. He's still, one of the best, most talented quarterbacks I've ever watched. Love the kid. But with all this going on and where we're at as an organization, it's a no for me.
Yeah, I just remember.
There's your answer. There's your answer. I just remember for all of them.
Yeah, right when Hurts first started, Gail and I did a bunch of breakdowns. We're saying, like, this kid has, like, the it factor. And if he can just, like, get the coaching and get, like, some guys like a Devonta Smith around him and a system, like, this kid's gonna move. Like, this kid moved differently. And finally run the ball a little bit with Miles, and then they got Gainwell. And that's when, like, we were on the draft show and we're excited. We're like, man, like, Hurts is going to have, like, some of the best weapons any Eagles quarterback has had. And then say what you want about Nick Sirianni on the podium. The dude loves football, and you can tell that people respond well to him when you're watching clips and when you hear past players talk about him. And listen, I like Deshaun Watson as a player, and you hear a lot of good things until all this smoke came up about the whole situation. But I was talking to people, and people said, hey, like, with everything going on with Deshaun Watson, like, if you could give up the 3 first-round picks next year and then you would trade Hurts to Houston so then you wouldn't have another quarterback controversy, would you do it? Honestly, in our situation, no, I would not, because I think that the 2022 draft class is just what the Eagles need, and we have the picks to go from exactly how, like, Miami, I said you can have rebuild like a slow one like Cleveland, or you could like Miami and you get a Flores who inspires people. Hopefully that's going to be Sirianni, and you can turn around real fast. And I think Jalen Hurts can do that much and more to earn the job. And then if you're going to be getting the cornerbacks, the edge rushers, and all the other top positions in the draft, and think about it, guys, we have millions, tens of millions of dollars in cap space next year. So you can go and get elite guys. And if they want to ball with the young, energetic coaches and players, they're going to come here because we're going to have the money. We're going to have the draft capital. And this was like the season where, like, the 2021 season, we might have to take some lifts. And there's growing pains. It's a lot of young guys, a lot of young coaches. But 2022 is going to be crazy. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to roll with Hurts, let him grow this year, and then build around him this year and next year and going forward.
Like, I don't like banana routes, right? I don't like the we're going to roll into it. It's stick your foot in the ground and rip it.
He's gonna stick your foot and rip it with Jalen Hurts over here. I think this is the this is the bad credit year. You fix your credit this year, and when next year you come around, then you go buy that Lambo, or you buy that new car or that new house when your money is right. And
Gail Saunders, the financial advisor. Your credit was shit last year. Next year, you're getting a Lambo.
Eagles financial.
That's how you're going to turn it all around.
That's what it's about, man. Like, you have those extra picks, and I'm just talking about. We don't know exactly what we have in Jalen Hurts, but he's shown us enough to give him the keys to the car and give it a spin, give it a rip, and put your foot in the ground. Jalen Hurts, young man. I feel like he's doing the right things. Obviously, there's going to be guys in the comments who are like, it is what it is. Jalen Hurts is a young quarterback with the opportunity to grow and shine and do some great things next year. I just want to see that happen, and then we'll talk about it later when Deshaun Watson, if the allegations are all cleared. There ain't for me. There's going to be no dry humping around. You know what I mean? I'm moving forward. Because that all those things that I've read was super weird. It's super weird, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah, man.
Did we start talking about Micah Parsons when I wasn't listening there?
I was thinking.
Did you read all that? Did you read some of the details of that stuff?
Micah?
No.
Oh no.
No, not Micah. Deshaun.
Oh yeah. I saw about that. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just saying. Any last words before we get out of here? I know it was the quickie Ryan Kerrigan pod, but everybody loves to talk about Deshaun Watson This is the first time we have talked about it as a podcast because it's just me right now.
I think anybody with the jersey numbers 86 and 96 should maybe just start, I don't know, getting your clothes together, putting some things in boxes, just getting ready in case anything were to happen, because the way things are lining up, I think that's a possibility. I'm looking forward to the rest of the offseason, what other moves are going to be made. Still need that cornerback that we're obviously been looking out for months now, years actually. But Ryan Kerrigan was a great signing today, guys. I'm really happy about that depth, and go Birds.
Jimmy.
Yeah, my final thoughts on the matter are hell yeah. And I agree with Evan. Those guys should definitely be packing, getting prepared, because it's definite possibility. One thing I wanted to add was we will gain an additional $4 million on June 2nd because of the post June 1st designations to Alshon Jeffrey and Malik Jackson. So there is a little bit more money coming in there too. So excited, loving to see us making the right moves, retooling the right way. Let's go Birds.
Is Prime
Chris?
frozen?
Prime?
I couldn't tell if he was going to say anything. But no, I'll go first.
No,
Sorry
Prime.
about
Look
that.
at that guy.
I couldn't tell if he froze on there. He didn't move there.
Yo, my Wi-Fi is acting up right now. My Wi-Fi.
Got you. Yeah, overall though, man, I mean, I'm excited about it. Ryan Kerrigan is a high quality player on and off the field, and he's a guy that's gonna be like, I do like people are talking about, like, he's like Chris Long 2.0 here. Like, he's a veteran presence, a solid guy. People are really gonna take to him and the lessons. You can listen to the coaches and say, like, hey, do this and that. But if Ryan Kerrigan stops you after practice and you're a rookie and says, hey, like, you didn't, like, I liked what you did there, like, but, like, I'll show you something like that. Like, it's really important doing stuff like that. And it's really how it comes together, because we talked about how toxic the locker room kind of was last year and how, like, they couldn't really go to each other. And now this year, it's like, it seems like you saw Lane Johnson and Jalen Hurts at Topgolf hanging out together. And it's just like, that's what you want. That's what I love to see. And that's the make of any great team. Guys just like gelling together, hanging out, willing to hang out on the practice field, at Topgolf, do all that kind of things. And Ryan Kerrigan's the kind of guy that's just going to get along with everyone and really help elevate the season. I'm just excited, man. I mean, we got the schedule. We're planning out some road trips, and it's good to just, like, it's starting to get warm out. We know that football's coming back, and it's really good just to talk football and to talk about a guy of that caliber coming to our team.
You did the whole show outside. I mean, it's beautiful out.
Yep.
Can't argue with the weather.
Yeah. Prime, last words.
I'm really happy that we're still making moves. I mean, I can see that the organization hasn't closed the books on, still bringing people onto the squad, still getting us that help that we need. I know come June 1st is going to be, some more moves to be made. Not going to be, the favorite of moves, but it is what it is. It's part of the business. You know what I mean? You got to take the bad with the good. But if
Now he is frozen.
I think he was probably saying something
Prime.
along the lines of, I love Julie Ertz. Just want to.
I think Prime is actually, the narcolepsy has kicked in. But I mean, overall, if I'm, I want to close out last words. I mean, I just feel like, before the door was falling off the hinges, the roof needed to be fixed. The porch, we needed a new deck. I think we fixed some things around the house. I feel like we might need to cut the grass a little bit, plant some flowers, and it's from the optics from the outside. Everything looks okay. I don't know what's going on exactly inside the house with this Eagles organization, but I feel like things are getting fixed and things are looking okay to start the off season. We have a off season with Jalen Hurts working out with these guys. He didn't have that last season. That's a positive. But overall, I feel like the rookies look good in camp. I think we got good vibes, good energy. I think I'm excited. I think we should all be excited. Eagle football is almost around the corner. We just got done with the draft. Now we have the season starting. But for me and the guys, we will see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly Eagles fly.